Hey Karen, just gonna check my audio and see if it's working this time.
I can hear you, but I'm still having trouble getting everything set up.
Okay.
But I can hear you, Wanda.
There, now I think I'm on.
Yes, you're on, Dennis. I see you.
Okay. Is Wanda from Estill Springs?
Yes, she is, just south of you.
Yeah, that's real close. I'm trying to remember whether I had remembered you from before. I'm not sure.
Almost in Tullahoma. I'm so close. I'm right on the end of Estill, so
Yeah. I just didn't know whether I am supposed to know you already. No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Stop, kitty cat.
Hello, Bettina.
Hello. I'm just getting. I had to let my cat in.
Okay. Hello, Hillary.
Hello. Oops. Glad someone else was dealing with pet logistics. Here's snoring. It's not me, it's the dog.
Hello, Joanna. Hello, Michelle.
Hello, how are you?
Yes, Mrs. Santa, I'm fine.
No, don't go there.
Okay.
Thank you.
It was, excuse me. This is going to be great if I lose my voice tonight. I normally watch Channel 5,
Me
and when
too.
that came on and it gave the location, and I went, oh. And I looked at the shape and I went, oh no. I listened to the voice and went, I know who she is.
Well, I had seen that on Channel 5 like the day before Christmas Eve, and I thought that was just a great idea.
It is a marvelous idea. For those that can handle it, I think
Well,
it's
I've got
wonderful.
I've got the city council thinking, and now they're going to hopefully some of the members are going to do a resolution where you give your change from your bill. If if it's it's
Yeah, that would
$75
be
and 50
nice.
cents, whatever, they would round it up, and so they're going to start a fund. I hope that's my intention, and that's several of the city council members have told me that. So I think it's a great idea.
Good.
I didn't think
That's
of it. I'm
wonderful.
not original.
That's okay. You participated, and
That's right.
it's exciting.
Well, thank you.
It's nice to see. It's there's so much negative stuff going on. I treasure every positive I see on TV.
Well, I yes, I agree.
Mm. Well, we have, let's see. Oh, okay, that's Larry. Okay.
Not Judy, but Larry, yes.
That's right. I remembered from last time. Wait a minute, Judy. Oh, that's Larry. So we
Well, I
have
had a new
Louise.
computer for a while, but we had to send it back. It wasn't working, so I'll have a new laptop soon. I could be Larry.
Okay, you should be able to change your name on the screen now.
I would think so. I just haven't figured it out or bothered.
We have Louise, Larry, Bart, Dennis, Wanda, Susie, Bettina, Harlan, Hillary, Joanna, Michelle, Alan. I'm not sure which Alan.
Bentley.
Ah,
We might need to help Louise.
she's on. She was one of the first people on, I
Yeah,
think.
but she's not, we can't see her.
No,
It's her video.
I
She may
don't know
not-
why. I don't know if I didn't.
Make sure your video's turned on.
Well, I don't, Bettina, you know me, I don't even know
Yeah.
what thing on here is the video, so I wouldn't.
Okay, do you see anything that says join with video?
Well, I've already done that. That's how I'm
Huh.
seeing you. I wouldn't be able to see you if I hadn't
Yeah, but we can't see you.
joined the meeting. Yeah, I can see I have my names up there, but my picture, I'm not.
Huh. I don't know.
Probably the camera is probably not on, but I don't
Ah,
know where it is. So is that
all I know is you're supposed to click turn on the video when it tells you to, but that's about the
See,
extent
I've
I
been
found.
on here. I've been on here for 35 minutes waiting for it to start.
Yeah.
So when it did
Huh.
finally came up, it didn't say, click anything.
Let me just take a
Down at the
look.
bottom, it has a video camera.
Mm.
Yeah, bottom left.
Right.
Oh yeah,
It's
it says stop
and there's
video. I
bottom
wonder if
left.
there's
Bottom
a,
right, there is a Zoom US. So would that be it?
Yes.
No,
yeah, there's something at the bottom that says there's a little camera. It says stop video and it says FaceTime. Choose virtual background video settings. Let me just look this up real quick. Name appears on Zoom. But not picture. Can you see us, Louise?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay, all right. Why is my picture not showing on Zoom? Okay.
I think it was probably something I should have done before I ever joined the meeting. But
Did you click on the link?
yes,
Or did you go in through a number?
no, I clicked on the link.
Okay.
But I could say I've been waiting for 30 minutes, so. That's okay. I don't look like Miss America today anyway, so don't.
I know, I wish I didn't have to. I wouldn't mind.
All right. Well, why don't we get started then? I can say welcome to everyone. Welcome to the new year. Let's hope it's going to be a good one. Let's hope everything is more normal this year than it has been. And towards that end, let's see. I'd like to welcome two new people to the meeting. We have Hillary Swain, who's our newsletter editor. And welcome to the group, Hillary.
I'm so happy to be here and really get cracking.
Good. When do you think you're going to be able to do the next newsletter?
Well, it's probably a discussion. I saw it on the agenda, so maybe
Okay.
we take it up as a discussion. But there are a couple of logistical hurdles that I want to be able to talk through.
Okay. We'll talk about them then. All right.
Hillary, where are you from? Where are you from, Hillary?
Well, I'm calling in from Nashville. I've been in DC for the past, 13 years, but my ancestral roots are in West and East Tennessee. So now here I am in the middle, splitting the difference.
So where are you? So where are you living now? Where are you now?
I'm in Nashville.
Nashville?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. The other person that's new to the group is our new treasurer, Wanda Priest, who's down in Estelle Springs, which is just south of Tullahoma. So
Right.
she's Dennis's neighbor, so to speak.
Right.
Hi, neighbor.
All right, next, let's have the minutes of the meetings. Bettina, can we start with the June's meeting? We haven't approved the minutes of the June meeting yet. Does anyone have any concerns, any corrections, additions, changes to the June minutes?
I move for approval.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Ah,
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, those are passed. How about the minutes of the November meeting, which was our annual meeting? It was a short one, but because we had the talk with Joey Shaw afterwards.
And I move for approval of those.
We do have one correction that we're going to have to go through and determine which people did we actually re-elect.
Ooh.
Not all of our board members were up for re-election. And I need help in figuring out which ones needed to be re-elected.
well, I did. If I was.
Okay, Louise, you think you needed?
Yes, because my term was up, but Michelle's was not. So I
Okay,
remember reading that before that last meeting.
okay, so Michelle was not, you're saying, but you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that I was up either because I think Michelle and I are on the same rotation.
Okay. That's good. So we have let's see here.
And I guess, Susie, this is your second year, right?
Yes, mine's
Yeah, this is
2018. So is it every 2 years?
Yeah, it's every 2
Yes.
years.
Okay.
So that leaves Larry. Do you know if you were due to be reelected?
And I'm having a hard time thinking about any of that phenology. When do I bloom? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Larry and Dennis and whoever's left will be the ones, I think. I think they were on that one rotation, and then Michelle and I and Louise are on the other rotation.
All right, I'm okay with that if y'all are.
Yep.
We'll just start where we're at.
There you go.
All right, let's correct the November minutes then. to say that Larry, Louise, and Dennis were reelected
Okay.
on the board. And with that correction, do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Thank you.
I
Okay, Karen,
second.
I'll correct those and send them to you.
Thank you. Because I'll put them on the website. All right.
I second that.
All righty. How do y'all vote? Approve or not approve?
Approved.
Okay.
Approved.
Okay, the minutes are approved then. Thank you.
Who's the third holdover besides Michelle and Bart?
Susie.
Michelle, Bart, and Susie
Okay.
will be up next year.
Okay.
And Larry, Louise, and you and Dennis are this year. We're just reelected. Okay. All right, treasurer's report. We had a little bit of an issue because poor Wanda has had a lot of sickness in the family and has not been able to start her duties yet. We're planning on meeting next Tuesday, and we'll get the treasurer's accounts shifted over. We'll get the bank accounts moved over and all the documents and everything. So she'll pick it up then. So since I was treasurer last year, I went ahead and did an end of year report. Checking account, $9,250. PayPal's about $20. Money market, the savings account is $10,481. The book savings account is $19,181. We have a total on hand as of the first of the year of $38,932.60. So we have a healthy balance. Book royalties have come in from UT Press on the vascular plants, and that was for 2019 in the amount of $568. And we did receive a royalty check from Lone Pine, but it's for 2018 when very few of our books were sold. That was only for $16. But there were no books available to sell. So they're supposedly, they tell me that they are working on the 2019 royalty check. Haven't seen it yet, but they say they're working on it. Membership dues brought in over $3,000 in 2020. Plus, we picked up 4 lifetime memberships for an additional $1,000. So, among our assets, I put down the books that we have on hand. That's what I have there, I think, is close. How many books are in a carton of Wildflower books? Bart, Dennis, can you tell me?
18 right now.
How many?
It's varied from time to time. I think right now it's 18. It's
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
too heavy to
that's
pick
right.
up.
Okay, that's wonderful. Okay.
Yeah, it has been 16 and it's been 12, but I think the latest is 18 books in a box.
Okay, thank you. There's a profit and loss statement that was presented along with the treasurer's report for the year. And that shows what we've spent on what throughout the year, where the monies came in and where the monies went out. Does anyone have any questions on any of that? If so, I'll be glad to answer as best I can at the moment.
Really, no questions, just a comment. $3,000, that's spectacular. I mean, I think
For,
that's
yeah. And
wonderful.
it's actually 3,200 plus 1,000 for life memberships, so that's 4,200.
Fantastic.
Just, and we did finish off the year in a positive, with a positive income, amount of income. We brought in over a balance of $2,339 more than we spent. So we did well this last year.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I think so too.
And Karen,
Considering the alternatives.
Karen, thank you for your, you know, I know you're using Quicken or
QuickBooks
something.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but thank you so much for that accounting.
You're welcome. And Wanda is experienced with QuickBooks. That was one of my criteria for looking for a treasurer. And I was so delighted when she said, I'll do the job and I know QuickBooks. And I went, whoa, that makes life so much easier.
Yes.
So we'll get her in up to speed this coming week. She'll do fine. All righty. Well, in that case, let's move on to the old business, one of which is the newsletter. First item is newsletter. So Hillary, we did put out 2 newsletters this past, well, 3. We had one newsletter put out normal, and then Bart put out 2 newsletters for us. Thank you, Bart.
You are
Don't know
welcome.
what we would have done without you.
Excuse me.
Your talent is much appreciated.
Thank you.
And now we'll look forward to our new newsletter editor taking over the reins. Quick question: how close are we to getting the field trips together? Because that needs to go in the first newsletter.
Yeah, I hope to have all that kind of, at least a good rough draft put in by the end of the month. And it shouldn't take a lot of tweaking after that. We should have it pretty well set. So yeah, I'm hoping to, like, at least the first week of February have it completely done. So that would be able to get a newsletter out by the end of the month, probably end of February, which would be about the right time.
It's going to be tricky. We may have some changes down the line, but hopefully a lot of vaccine out there.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like last year. You'll have to make sure you call your leader ahead of time and make sure that the trip is still on. But I think we gained enough experience last year to be able to hold these things without having too much issue.
Right. We did a couple of them, at least East Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah. From all accounts that I've heard, everything went well. So
yeah,
all things considered.
Yeah.
It's not an ideal situation, but I'm thankful that you all were able to still have some trips and be able to get some people out. And I appreciate that. So Hillary, what are the problems that you think that might slow you down?
Well, I do have a couple of questions, and Bart, you just tackled 2 of them, so that's great. You mentioned that end of February would be the ideal and sort of on normal schedule timing. That sounds great, very possible. What is so it's not quite quarterly that the newsletters go out. How do we time them? What's the ideal cadence?
We try to have a spring, which would be the one coming up, and then we have a summer, and then we usually have one early, like late summer, early fall, which usually in the past had dealt with things for the annual meeting, but that'll be in the spring newsletter this time, and then one at the very end of the year. So it's like a spring, summer, fall, winter, but they're not exactly in the middle of the seasons.
Okay.
They flex a little according to the field trip schedule. Excuse me. We need to get the field trip schedule out in time for people to respond and go.
Right.
Right.
And we
Okay.
need to
And
get
then
one
maybe,
out before
go
the
ahead.
annual meeting.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
this spring newsletter is probably going to be, it might be a little bit bigger than we normally have put out because we'll have at least 2 pages will be dedicated to field trips, and there'll have to be at least 1 page dedicated to the annual meeting registration form. So that's 3 pages out of the 8 right there, at least. We normally have like an 8-page newsletter. And one of those pages, half of that page is blank because it's where the address label would end up being.
Right.
Hillary, if you go on our website where the newsletters are, that page, there's an archive and you can look at all the newsletters
Yes.
that we
That's
have
a very,
copies of.
yeah.
So
And
it's on the newsletter page. There's a link for it.
yes. And maybe, so I don't want to take up the whole meeting with my, widget questions. So Bart, are you a good person maybe to talk to about parts of the process that have worked before? I did get the download from the previous newsletter editor, but some of it was unclear. So I'd love to, you sound like you have a great handle on what the ideal is.
I don't know so much that I know anything about how to go about actually publishing it.
I should be good on the, anything from the technical point of view of, okay, how do we actually make this a real thing? It should be fine. My questions are more just of how do people like to share their ideas for what should be included, and are there unspoken rules, that kind of thing.
Well, we typically, these are things that are typically in each newsletter would be the president has a message, and there's usually several trip reports from previous field trips that people will send in to you. And then if you have some space that's open, sometimes people will write articles and submit those, and those can be a page and a half. So it's flexible, and we typically, try to keep things to Tennessee, but it doesn't have to necessarily just be a Tennessee subject. If it's still something that talks about native plants.
Okay, so given that we want to do one at the end of February, and it sounds like this time around the field trip list will be the big draw. Once we see, you mentioned that it'd be about 2 pages. And then Karen, I can chat with you about a message. And will there be, just looking at everyone, will there be trip reports available this go round?
I don't believe so, because the last newsletter that we put out had the last field trip in there. So I think we're all up to date on that. And you probably won't have a lot of room anyway to do that this time. And you also may want to have little short bios about, you and Wanda, so that everybody can get to know the new officers.
Right. We'll be able to do something. Excuse me. I'm sorry. My voice is bad today.
Hillary, I could do a short little story. Can you all hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I teach at MTSU, and I had my non-majors class work on Zoe Universe because of MTSU policy. I wasn't able to get the students out in the field. And that was such a cool experience. They transcribed, for the Southeastern Grasslands Initiative, they transcribed the herbarium sheets. So the students, I don't know if they realized how important this work was, but it would just be cool if someone's out there just thinking, man, I'd like to sit on the computer for a little while. No, I'm just kidding. But, it was just wonderful to be part of science in that way. And I kept trying to tell them, guys, these handwritten cards on these herbarium sheets, this is lost data. Nobody has access to this until you transcribe it. And so you're making science real, and this all goes into a database ultimately where other researchers can look at this and figure out things about, plant occurrence and, when they were last seen, and just all kinds of neat things can happen from it. So I'll do a little story about that. And there are all kinds of neat projects. One I did with a class a couple of years ago, we were transcribing herbarium sheets from the 1800s. So it's a really neat thing.
Oh my
And
goodness.
doesn't take very long to do. I mean, I make them do 50 but if you want to just sit down and
People
do a
feeling kind
couple.
of- yeah, that could be good inspiration while people are still feeling a bit cooped
Yeah,
up.
I mean,
in
something to do while you're
winter.
locked up,
Mhm.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
Super. All right.
Anyone else have any nuggets like that they've been thinking about? I can send you an email separately and we can have a chat. Otherwise, it sounds like we'll have a full docket.
Do we want
Hopefully.
to put in a little, oh, sorry. Do we want to put in a little blurb about the wildflower pilgrimage?
Is it on?
It's virtual again.
It's virtual. It'll be virtual. It'll be in May. But it's also kind of similar to what you were talking about, Kim, because it's basically it's like a bio blitz using iNaturalist.
Yeah.
So that might be, I don't know if there's room, that might be a nice place to put just a tiny little blurb in there.
Yeah, Joy sent that email. We could use a lot of the information from that email if we wanted to include.
Did you get the email that Joey Shaw sent out today?
I got it yesterday.
There is too much uncertainty to begin organizing an in-person pilgrimage.
Yeah.
That's what he says. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another piece that we could add, excuse me, is the Wild Ones Conference is virtual this year too. I'm sorry, every time I speak, I seem to get congested. So the Wild Ones Conference from Chattanooga that we often have a booth at and sell our books and memberships at. That one will also be virtual over a 3-day period. So I can probably do a little blurb on that to add to, because that's in March as well. We're kind of moving ahead here, but the Nashville Lawn and Garden Show is not running this year because of COVID. And because they can't, there's
Are you
the
sure?
housing there.
Hi, are you sure? Because I thought I saw something that they were.
No.
Now the Antique and Garden Show is not, but I thought the Lawn and Garden Show was.
Not according to Margie. And
they know.
If you look on their website, all they have is last year's stuff.
Yeah, it's canceled.
The area that they use is also being used to house the homeless COVIDs.
Okay. Well,
So,
I looked on the website. I must have looked at the wrong year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So that one's out. So yeah, I can do a short one on the Wild Ones if someone else will do one on the wildflower pilgrimage. We can put those in.
I can do that just with it. That won't take that'll be very short. Who should I send it to?
Hillary.
You can send it. Yep, you can send it.
Okay, what's your
to
contact
me.
information?
I'll put my email in the chat here, and then there's a better way. I'm sure I could also. I am on the email thread for the invite to this meeting, of course.
Yeah, that'd be better.
So I can also respond back with the, calling out my. Okay.
All right.
And I think too, I don't know if you all are interested, but if you've used Oh, go ahead.
Hillary, your screen is frozen.
I
Well, no,
found
now it
that.
isn't. Either
Okay.
that or I've got slow download.
No, I had an alert that my connection was unstable, but I'm here.
Okay.
I was just going to mention that if I have all of your email addresses from the calendar invite, so I'll send mine around so everyone knows. And if you do get ideas, if inspiration comes, send them my way. Don't apply for this go around, then we'll look ahead for summer.
For the next one. Yeah.
And I think someone's also working with social media and things like that. So if it's not quite newsletter content, we could always put it somewhere else. Yeah.
Yes. Do you have all the hardware and programs that you need, Hillary, to do the work?
I do. We were stymied in the fall, but all now.
Super. All right. With that, let's move on then to the website and social media. Let's see. Let's see. Joanna, you're on board, aren't you? Let's see. Yeah, Joanna, is there anything that you want to say about the Facebook?
Yes, I would love some help. I need some little friends who might want to do a guest post, like about a plant profile, something that's interesting right now, something blooming or fruiting or, interesting. And Bart Jones, I'm relying on his amazing photographs from time to time. People eat those up. So if anybody else, it doesn't have to be as good as Bart's, but if anybody else wants to contribute some lovely pictures of what's around, I will put them up. And I'm still plugging our books every now and then. The Woody Plant book got something like, it was over 1,000, engagements. So, because this time I put a picture of the inside of the book, which is spectacular. But yeah, I would love some little friends to do guest posts or even be an editor with me. I haven't had an editor since Mitchell Kent and Sunny Fleming. So that would be groovy to have company.
Okay. And let's see. Jennifer Trentley, is she on?
No, but I'll go get her.
Thank you, Ellen.
Ooh, that's a gorgeous background.
I have to say, I have not heard groovy in some time. I'm glad it's in fashion again.
And let's see, who else we have?
Oh, it's unmuted.
Oh, okay.
Say hello.
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 Hey,
I don't think they can.
What swamp is that behind you, Jennifer?
What?
What swamp is that behind you?
I don't know, Alan.
It's like
Where?
Ghost River. I think it's Ghost River.
It's what?
Ghost River, you
Ghost
said?
River?
Ghost River. Yeah.
I didn't remember it being that swampy.
It's a big area.
Well, that's the area where you canoe through.
Yeah, I've been through there.
I'm
I don't
just
remember
guessing.
it
I don't
being
know
quite,
what
well, maybe
swamp
it was
is.
because it wasn't in the
I don't know
spring.
what swamp it is.
Yeah.
It looks like Ghost, but it could be any swamp.
Yeah.
He takes a lot of swamp pictures.
I think it's Clark.
Looks
Is
like a
Karen frozen out or?
come up out of there.
So it could be a number of different swamps.
There was a beautiful swamp up at Reelfoot, and the swamp roses were blooming, and all of their pale pink petals had fallen off into the water.
Mhm.
And that was beautiful. That was in, when was that, June?
July.
So that was beautiful.
I think we've lost Karen.
No, she's right. Oh, we lost Karen. Oh,
Looks like her picture's frozen.
Well, she's
yeah.
still at the top.
I got a bad intermittent
Our connection is suboptimal.
This is half the meeting right
message a little while ago.
But Tina,
Yes.
is that a Ben Franklin blossom behind you? Ben
It's-
Franklin tree?
I never heard of it as Ben Franklin. It's the mountain camellia.
I don't know if that's the same or not, but there is a tree that, not a great big tree, that's called the Ben Franklin tree. That the
I'll have
blossom,
to look up and see if it's the same one. Yeah, but it's the mountain camellia or
Stewardia.
Stewardia.
okay.
That was from the annual meeting in Beersheba Springs, the last one.
Okay, does that need to be growing in shade?
I don't know.
In the wild, it would normally be in a shady area. I suspect you could grow it in some sun.
I've been thinking about buying one and trying it on my hill. What would the pines that I have around here be a hindrance?
Well, you would want a moist place, I would think.
Well, you didn't answer my question about my pines, though.
But your pines, where the soil would be too acidic. I see it a lot in the wild. I haven't seen it a lot with pine trees. I have to tell you that, mostly with deciduous. So maybe the heavy pine needles might be a little bit too acidic.
Jennifer, I think that Karen was setting you up to come on board to have a conversation about something. Do you know what that is? We maybe
Oh, she probably just wanted to ask me about how the Twitter and Instagram is going and if I'm continuing to do it. And yes, I am.
That
And
sounds right.
yes, we do get people, we get quite a bit of traffic.
So it looks like she may have logged out.
So I think
Maybe
that's
she's
probably
rebooting.
all that's probably what she wanted to know.
Yeah.
I expect she's going to reboot,
Yeah.
get back on here.
No, that's what's going on.
While we're waiting on her, Louise, I've tried the Ben Franklin tree several times. I've gotten it as high as maybe 4 feet, and then it leaves me.
Yeah. You want
I've
me to-
also had difficulty finding nurseries that propagate. And if you've got Roundup anywhere within 50 feet of it, it won't, it hates Roundup.
Well, I don't use much Roundup.
Good.
I'm
But
a little
it-
bit afraid of it. Of course,
Louise?
probably as old as I am, it probably wouldn't kill me. It would take longer than I've got left, to do the job, but
Well, it's a beautiful tree, but it's very timid.
Hi, Susan.
Hi there. Sorry, I tried to log on. It said wait. So I kept trying, and then I finally went to Karen's original email and got on. I don't know.
Well,
There
now
she
we've
is.
lost Karen.
Me and computers.
Karen, you're back.
I don't think she can hear us now.
She can't hear us. We can see her. She's
There she is.
Here.
okay. There she's muted. Unmute.
Muted.
There you go. Now you got it.
No.
Oh,
it
she
didn't
looks
work.
sad. So, Karen, try and check the sound. So if you go to the bottom left, there'll be like let me look. where it
Mic-
says where the little microphone is.
Yeah.
So check that. You have to select where you want your audio.
I think she's got it selected, but she's just not on.
Karen's pretty good with the technical stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
she may be having other problems.
Well, look at Alice. Alice is on.
Mhm.
Hey, Alice.
Susan's on.
Yeah.
Yes, unmute.
Oh, Karen, can you hear us?
Not reacting.
Now it says mute.
Alice.
But you, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you.
You're fine. Mhm.
Karen, are you able to try calling in through your phone? And then we can, whoever's the host now can link your phone number to your name.
You
so
might have to
don't
send her a chat for that. I don't know.
She looks like she's moving. Oh no.
What's the?
Louise,
Yes.
on the lower left-hand corner, there's two things. There's mute and there's stop video.
Right.
And do you have a red line through your stop video?
Yes.
Okay, click on that. Just click on the just click on it and
Now we can see.
There you are.
I finally
Right.
figured it out.
Thank you, Bettina.
Louise,
Yes.
we got your calendar today and that flower is Allegheny vine.
Yeah.
And we saw that in Big Creek area when we had our annual meeting at Newport.
Okay.
I do remember that.
The box of pictures that I made calendars from this year was from that time. I found a lot of pictures that I remembered came from that trip. I used the Indian cucumber roots on my Christmas cards because they had the red on them.
Yeah, those are great.
Because we found some fantastic Indian cucumber roots on that trail. Plus, I had a picture of the rattlesnake that Michelle
Yeah.
wanted to pick up.
We have one in the trail.
I didn't use it on anybody's Christmas card or calendar, but I found it.
Well, thanks for the Christmas card.
You're welcome.
Calendar. I got 2 Christmas cards. That was awful nice of you. From you.
Two from me? Well,
You, right. 2 different ones. I don't have in mind right now what was on the pictures, but so I was trying to send you a picture and it's going to come. I'm not finished writing Christmas previous year.
well, I hope I'm through writing Christmas cards. I still have Christmas presents that I don't know how I'm going to get to somebody. I hate to there's one of them that it's a book that's so heavy. I hate to mail it because I don't want to pay the postage. The postage will be as much as the book.
But you know what? A book rate, if you tell them this is only a book, there's no no letter. There might be a letter, but There's no, this is just, it's really inexpensive. So media book rates are way, way, way cheap.
Well, I might check into that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
look into it. You got to tell them specifically, this is a book. It's not.
Don't do
anything
any writing in it, no greetings or anything. Just
Okay.
the book.
Don't use the post office box, priority mailbox. Just tell them this is media. This is a book, and it shouldn't be real expensive.
Okay. Thank you.
I can fill in some dead space while
Thank
we're
you.
waiting on Karen. You remember at the last meeting, I mentioned about the Garden Club of America has a national award for a native plant. And
Yeah.
then I asked some of you to quote, give me quotes for it. So I've been helping with the local Memphis Garden Club. They've applied for the award and they won. And it's
Good.
yeah, I've never heard of such a thing, but it's Cephalanthus occidentalis buttonbush, and it's a 12-page application, and they really made it sound fabulous, and we think it is. And it's judged by a really prestigious group of nurserymen and people all across the country. So they were very happy to win the Freeman Award.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The
bought
best
one.
thing about buttonbush is that butterflies love them.
Yeah.
Oh, I bought one at the native plant sale at the Elsie Quarterman Festival maybe 2 years ago, and I got a twofer. There actually were two, and it's grown so prolifically. It just bloomed like crazy this year. I was just so happy that I made that decision, and I've got two of them. It's just wonderful. That's
Well,
really cool to know.
Yeah, one thing they pointed out was if it gets too big, cut it back. Start over. It'll come back with a vengeance. So they went through every possibility for this plant.
Karen, are you there?
There's Karen.
Her frame lit up there for a second. I thought,
I can see her.
I see her.
She's got two sides.
yeah,
Yeah.
but her frame actually went yellow there for a second. I thought you
Yeah.
would hear.
Can you hear me?
You got two
Yeah.
computers apparently.
Star Trek.
You gotta turn one of them off so you don't have an echo.
I'm trying.
There you go.
That's better.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm trying to find a balance between hearing you and you hearing me. I don't know what happened, but things have gone crazy here on me. And it's in a way I've never experienced before. So I'm really in double. That's, you're hearing an echo because I've logged in twice. Once I'm in charge of the meeting, and once I'm a client, a visitor to the meeting. So don't know. Short of turning everything off and having everybody re-log in, I don't know what else to do.
We're hearing you great.
Okay.
Very creative.
All right. Jennifer, what do you need? How are things going with Twitter and Instagram?
Oh, they're going well. I mean, we always get good comments and I try to keep up with links. I was going to just as a thing do another thing, sort of membership drive thing.
Okay.
Get people to sign up.
You could do a reminder for memberships too. There too. Excuse me. Okay.
Yeah, some of the, what is it? Some of the university people are on there quite a bit. So it's good contacts and stuff.
Okay. Anybody that has something they want to contribute to any of the social media, please contact Jennifer or Joanna or Hillary. Hillary's not Facebook, but Hillary's for the newsletter. And we'll try and get lots more information out to people. Education and outreach. Kim?
So unfortunately, I do not have a report at all. And just the one announcement about the, Margie spearheads the lawn and garden show. And again, that's not happening. Wild Ones is not happening, but virtually, which is great. Richard Hitt, I copied him on the email, but I didn't hear any updates about the wonderful chapter that he's got going in Williamson-Davidson County. The Elsie Quarterman Festival, I haven't heard back from the ranger, but we are still planning to at least hike. Milo Pine will be coming back. And I think if we can get everybody in a mask and socially distancing, I don't know about the bus. We may not have the bus this year, but I think the plan right now is to proceed as we have in the past, which would be 2 hikes with Milo and then some outdoor things. Linda Robertson's done a phenomenal job with the native plant garden there at Cedars of Lebanon. The research roundtable, however, since that's an indoor event, we are not going to host that this year. So we'll take a buy on that. And unfortunately, I don't have any other information. I wish I did.
What are the dates for the Elsie?
Pardon me?
What are the dates on the Elsie Quarterman Festival?
So the EQ Festival is April 30, would be the Friday night program. And again, we're thinking about perhaps we can do an outdoor speaker, if weather permitting, and then May 1. April 30 evening, May 1 would be the Saturday. And still weather permitting.
Okay.
Is that something that we would want to include in the newsletter?
Yes.
Yes, I was going to send that information to Bart, so it would show up, I guess, on the, the schedule of hikes and things.
Oh, great. Okay.
Do you think there'll be a plant sale? Because without the lawn and garden sale and the antique and garden sale, people are going to be desperate to buy plants. It'd be a good place for somebody to sell.
It would be if you all know anybody. Linda Robertson propagates native plants, but she doesn't have a greenhouse. And Margie thought that the plants wouldn't really be big enough at that point in time, for someone to, I think anyone who really gardened could appreciate, something really tiny is actually going to get as big as a button bush by the end of the summer. Mary's greenhouse, where plants were purchased from, she closed over the summer. So she shut down operations in McMinnville, which is really sad.
That's what I'm afraid of. A lot of the greenhouses, if the lawn and garden show is like their biggest show of the year, and if it's not going to happen, we're going to lose several plant growers.
I haven't reached out to Mike Berkeley. That might be something. I have to talk with Linda to find out how she, what she thinks, and then I'll talk with Mike Berkeley. But they had a June sale at Cedars that was, I counted 40 people when I was there. Phenomenal. Stuff was just getting snapped up like crazy. So I think they're planning to do a native plant sale in June.
In June, okay.
Wild Ones in Chattanooga is going to do a plant sale. It's not the same time as their conference, but I'll get the date out to you and see what we can do.
Yeah, that's right. They had that posted, I think, in a newsletter they sent out.
And the Wild Ones up here, the Wild Ones for Middle Tennessee the one Richard Hitt's running. They usually have a spring plant sale. Not sure, but it's often in combination with Owl's Hill. So that's another possibility. I'll check with Richard. I think I might even have a schedule that he posted this week. I'll double check. And I'll get back with you, Kim, on that. All right.
Did I
Anything
hear
else on
that Mary's
education and
greenhouse
outreach?
closed for good? Mary's
What?
greenhouse in McMinnville, did they close for good?
Yeah, Mary's greenhouse in McMinnville closed for good.
Okay. Next up is our annual meeting. And we're doing the same thing as last year. We have our dates are, and I don't have that in front of me.
9th to the 11th.
Yeah.
But I'm still kind of concerned because I don't think we have any idea how the immunization rollout is going to go. So, you know, I'm a little concerned that it may not be in enough time, because I would say that you know, I certainly wouldn't want to go out in something public if I hadn't had at least my first shot. And for those of us that aren't over 75, it's kind of hard to know how long it's going to be, you know. So I don't know. Do we need to kind of think about, you know, like make a decision right before the newsletter goes out, maybe?
We definitely need to let the hotel know, and I've been in contact with the Nature Conservancy and Larkspur both in the last few days, and we need to let them know.
Yeah.
Let me tell you guys a hint. I've been vaccinated, and what I did is I stood in line and waited for the vaccines that were unused, and the smaller counties have a certain amount of vaccines there to give. When they thaw them out, they have to give them if it's Moderna. So they have leftover vaccines at the end of the day. And even though Sumner County is a large county, they had vaccines left over. So the health department, if you will check with your health department, you can get in that leftover line. I got lucky. I was just one of those that happened to be in the car line, and they had several that I think they had like 20 left over that day, and they've had several since then. But it's worth checking with your health department on the vaccines. I'm 69, but that's worth checking with your health department.
Yeah, ours is still 75 and over, and they're out.
They say that, but what I'm saying is they've got 500 that they've got to give. And if they thaw out 500, and only if they're doing healthcare workers and whatever, and they only give out 450, they have 50 left. So
in like a place like Chattanooga, they just snap them all up because they have
Chattanooga. I'm just saying mostly the smaller counties. And
so
even
I need
those,
to move to a smaller county.
well, and you could go to a smaller county. You don't have to actually, you can go to Macon County.
Yeah, you could go anywhere. You could go, because it's a federal program. You could go anywhere. Rutherford County is a no-go. I've tried Rutherford County. They're like, nope,
probably very difficult
through, but
go to Trousdale or Macon, or I mean, whatever you're near. If it's a smaller county, a lot of, unfortunately, the healthcare workers and the first group, some of them don't want to take the vaccination.
Yeah.
So they're taking anybody, and it doesn't matter. You got to be 18 years and over. That's it.
Wow, that's really different than the current. That's interesting because that's really different than the current you know, scenario.
We're all in this idea that we need to get these certain group vaccinated, and
Yeah.
yes, we do. But if they thaw out so many,
And they have to, yeah, and
use
They go
them.
back.
So they will use them on anybody that's in line.
right.
And it doesn't matter who, if you're in line, they'll use them on you.
Yeah.
And that, why waste them? So it's just worth checking into in the smaller counties.
I would suggest that we probably should not have a meeting at the lodge in April. I don't think we would be ready for that. I would think that we could probably do some hikes. We have the weekend reserved at Taylor Holler, and I don't know about the other place if it's hard to get into or not, but we could have hikes with different leaders, limit it to the amount of people and require people to wear masks if we want to do that. But as far as a get together and all of that, I don't see that happening this year, unfortunately.
Well, let me say the lodge, if you will go to the website and look at it, there are many of the rooms, the majority of the rooms are on the outside. They all go to an outside porch. So you don't go inside to get to your room. It's one of the big old fashioned lodges with the huge wraparound porches. Just look at it. And those rooms are all outside. They have several rooms inside. And we may, if we wanted to say, just use the outside rooms only. And once they're done, we're through. I'm just throwing that information out there. So you could possibly do it only with outside. That's possible, but speakers wouldn't work. You're going to have to figure out how to get your dinners with boxes, and they may be able to do that for you. It's possible it could work, but it would be difficult.
It sounds like the general consensus is let's hold off on the annual meeting and maybe do it later in the year. Is there some place we could go for, say, September? And maybe do this particular one at Red Boiling Springs next year?
Could we do the Red Boiling Springs, Bart, are there, no, there wouldn't be any, there's nothing that weekend. Oh wait, you're doing the butterfly thing. But could we just turn that into a hike since we have the reservation?
I mean, that's kind of what Michelle was saying, that we would just all meet together and just do hikes. We wouldn't have typical meeting where we go all in one room and have dinner, and we would go and have somebody speak in one room. I mean, it would have to be, all our activities would have to be outside, basically.
Let's do that. I hate to give this up again.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
we're not that particularly social anyway. We sleep.
I
thought we were.
Well, we can, we can.
Go ahead.
We can also have an impromptu meeting outside around the porch. We can still have our business side of things. We just won't have speaker, and we won't be able to eat country.
Speaker.
Yeah, family style will be out. So
family will be out, but they could probably fix us boxes or box lunches.
Can we ask them if they could fix us boxes?
Yeah.
I haven't asked them that, but I would guess they would be willing to do that.
Well, Michelle, what are they doing right now for their regular meals? If they got guests, if they're having people staying with them, they've got to have some system that they've worked out for the restaurant part.
No, I don't know. I didn't ask them. They may be socially distancing at the table. And they do have this huge hall that's next to where they have concerts. It's a great big humongous hall that they could probably distance people out there. I would guess they are not having concerts. That would be my assumption anyway. I can check with them and get back with everybody and let you know, but that's.
Well, I think we're all, I'm going to be vaccinated as soon as I can, and I'm working on it steadily. And I think a lot of those of us that are going to be vaccinated are really anxious to get it done. And maybe it'll be most of us by then.
Who knows?
I sure hope so, because the whole state of Tennessee is a hot zone right now, and I go out once a week for groceries.
Well,
And I go for walks, and that's
it's
it.
disgusting. I know the health department, head of the health department and the emergency management, and they said they could vaccinate 1,500 a day. They are only allowed 1,500 a week.
Yeah.
So they're doing 3 days a week with 500 a day. And they are very frustrated because they have all the plans in, they have everybody they want. They've got everybody in place, but they can't get the vaccines. They can't get it from the state. I don't know if the state can't get it from the federal government. I don't know where the slowdown is, but they are ready to give vaccines.
Yeah.
And I think other health departments are in the same situation. They're prepared for this.
Well,
but no vaccine.
Chattanooga, Hamilton County Health Department gave out, they had a couple of vaccination drives, and it was healthcare workers and people over 75. And I could probably finagle it, even though I'm not working, but I'm not going to do that.
Right.
You know, I still have my old work ID. I probably could have gotten away with it, but, you know, but I'm not going to do that until, you know, because that's not fair to the people that are over 75. But who knows when they're going to have, you know, who knows when they're going to have more vaccine, because they didn't order enough.
So
So
I don't know if they didn't order enough. That's a whole other story. So
If you had your first one, when are you, how are you guaranteed the second one then?
You're not. But what they're saying, the new thing is that they feel like one shot for, you know, 2,000 people is probably, for the greater good, is probably better than 2 shots for 1,000 people.
I'm gonna kind of respectfully disagree with you. The one shot on the Moderna, you're 80% covered.
Right.
Once you get your second shot, it's 95% covered.
Well, I'm just saying what the new government, you know,
well, but then
thing
you
is.
go, they do have a portal where I went into the portal and I registered for my second shot. So I already have an appointment February 2nd for the second shot. Even though I wasn't 75, but I was part of that group that they didn't want to throw away the vaccine.
Yeah.
So, and there is the portals through each county where you can register even for the first shot. And it's very vague. They don't ask how old you are. They don't ask where you work. It's really very vague. I'm surprised how vague it is. They just want to get the shots out.
Yeah. And see, unfortunately, there's a little more bureaucracy where I live.
Yeah, and that may be true. But some of the smaller counties, I'm sorry, you guys in the big cities don't realize how anti-vaccine so many people are in some of the smaller counties. Even though they're having people die, and you don't want to hear the quotes that I hear from people that have lost their loved ones, but they're just refused to take the vaccine even then. I'm sorry, it's real pitiful.
Oh no, I had patients where one sibling almost died from influenza and then got a secondary pneumonia, you know, and then had a secondary pneumonia, was super ill. And they asked the parents if they were going to get the rest of their kids vaccinated. And then, well, I don't know, flu shots are kind of dangerous.
Yeah, right. And you've had one, and that you just, every day I hear somebody else that same thing. Well, no, it really wasn't COVID. That, you know, it maybe was because she had a heart condition to begin with, but COVID was spreading around the whole community, the church where they went, or the family, or wherever it was. And the husband sick with COVID, and definitely the wife had COVID too. I mean, it's
Let's
sad.
get back to the
yeah, let's get back.
Yeah, let's get back to the
so you guys decide what you want to do. I haven't talked with the Nature Conservancy because Susan had talked with them, but I have talked with Larkspur, and Larkspur is right across the street from Taylor Hollow. They have picnic tables where we could have lunches if we wanted to plan. And I know Susan's already kind of made reservations, but we could do groups that could go there maybe 1 in the morning, and then they have their lunch, and then everybody has lunch together, and then go across the street, and we trade up where we're going because they're within walking distance. Now for winding stairs, it could almost be a self-directed hike because they've got sidewalks. This community, which I never would have expected this out of Lafayette, Tennessee, but they have cherished this beautiful little area. They put sidewalks in, there's a parking lot, it can be self-directed, you can see lots of wildflowers, beautiful waterfalls. When we would go to it over the past 30 years, it was wilderness, and somehow Lafayette got on board. They've even got big murals they've painted on the sides of their buildings saying how great this place is, and it really is pretty cool. It's got as much as Taylor Hollow does.
Do we need to reserve winding stair?
No, because it's open to the public. Anybody can go at any time. You can, like I said, it's self-directed. It's not something you are on a path, and it's a directed path, but it's where anybody can go at any time, even wheelchair. It's wheelchair accessible. So it would be a great one for Sunday if people wanted to do it on their way home. And then maybe the guided tours be with Taylor Hollow and Larkspur. And Larkspur has several flowers as well as what they're doing with the natural burials too. They're just a neat group of people.
I say we go for it.
I mean, it's totally up to you guys, because I can cancel it, or we can just tell them we're coming and see. I do not know how many rooms are on the outside. I'm going to guess 30 anyway. I could go to their website and take a look, but like I said, it's like one of these big antebellum hotels, and the porch just wraps around the outside. Now it's got a porch that wraps around the outside also on the second story, but you have to enter through the hotel to get to the second story. Downstairs you can go in and out, and you don't have to go in the hotel. You don't have to see anybody. You just park and you go in your room.
It's really more, I mean, I think the times when we'd have the most contact with other people would be meals, and then having
meetings,
lectures. So if we don't, if we could, if we don't have to worry about either one of those, then it probably doesn't matter if some of the rooms are on the inside.
That would, again, it would be totally up to you guys. And maybe the people that have had vaccines, I would be fine to go in the inside. And I'm sure there may be some other people that get vaccinated between now and then.
Man, I sure hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope they start rolling it out. But I mean, y'all just decide what you want, and I'll see what I can get done. Maybe they can set up food in this humongous hall they have. I'm sure he's creative, and he'll be glad to help in any way we want. And I don't mind having a fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and green beans box. It's not quite as good as family style, but if it's in a box, it's in a box.
All right. Well, why don't, Michelle, why don't you and I and Susan talk a little over the next couple weeks?
That sounds.
And we'll come back to everybody with ideas.
Or just move it till next year, because if everything else is canceling, we'll just got another spring coming up.
Well, let's see if we can salvage some of it.
Okay.
And if not, we'll postpone it to next year.
Okay.
And I think the three of us can probably iron out things enough that now that we've heard what people's feelings are and concerns, why don't the three of us check this out a little further, do some phone calls and such, and see if we can't come up with a little bit more of a plan. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll try that then. Okay. Next up is the Tennessee Conservation Voters.
Me again. I sent out, and I don't know if I need to get this to folks. We have our priority meeting next week. And if anybody has any native plant priorities that they would like to see on the agenda, Did you happen to send these out or do I need to read them?
I did not send it out yet.
Okay. Well, some of the suggestions were support aquatic state budget, especially relative to the Tennessee budget, oppose efforts to reduce trust funds, oppose weakening of Tennessee Water Quality Control Act, oppose it. Most of it's opposing because a lot of the legislation is trying to weaken some of our laws, oppose attempts to preempt government's ability to adopt energy efficiency codes. And there's several other things. I didn't see anything on here particularly. There's a lot of clean water. There is a lot of recycling, reduce lead in school, transparency to the public, electric vehicles. And most of these are opposing legislation that has been introduced. If anybody has anything particular to native plants that they have, if you could send me an email and tell me what it is, and we would definitely put it on the agenda. If there's anything that you know of that needs watching, if there's anything that is special that maybe could be introduced, just please let me know. You have my email address. I think we're meeting next Tuesday for the legislative priorities. And we are one of, I think, 19 groups. So there, a lot of our ideas are going to be clean water, clean air. You know, there's many things that we would all agree with that's going to overlap. So if we stay specific to native plants, and again, throughout the year, if anything comes up, throughout the legislative session, I will let everybody know, well, I think we had something very specific last year, and I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly what it was. And there was some great input that really helped our lobbyists, because whatever it was, they didn't understand, but I'm sorry, I just don't remember what the subject was. So please just let me know, give me an email. If anybody's got anything right now you want to tell me, that's great. And I will put that into the legislative priorities.
Anybody's suggestions?
If you think of something, just email me.
Okay. All right then. Next up is new business. First of all, let's do field trips, although we've kind of touched on them so far. Bart, how are things looking with the field trips? How are we going to have a good number of them, or?
I'll have to kind of get everything together before I'll have an idea. We were going to try to do the things that we didn't do last year. So we're probably good for the first half of the year. It's going to be the fall where we may end up being a little short. So I may be having to call some people to see what they can do in the fall.
Sounds good. Okay. Next up is, I have a proposal that I sent everybody a copy on. While we're getting used to using Zoom and getting to see everybody through Zoom in a safe manner, we're discovering that we can bring everybody together from across the state. And it's a lot easier to meet. Years ago, we had, I don't know how long ago, Dennis might be able to help. We used to have meetings every month. It was, Dennis, have you any idea how long ago that was when we stopped having meetings?
I don't remember us ever doing that. I'm sorry.
The newsletters. I came up with lots of speaker meetings.
Well,
letters.
I,
It's been a while though. It was way back.
I just, gosh, I don't ever remember doing anything monthly. Maybe in the very, very beginning, when UT Knoxville had a very strong presence in the very beginning. And then there was TBA and Oak Ridge and all. They might have had monthly get-togethers or meetings, but it would have been in the first 2 years. I don't really remember it really happening. I was too far away to get involved in that. So I'm not, I mean, I think your idea is good, but I don't ever remember it happening that I'm aware of exactly what you're talking about.
Well, I still think it might be a good way to share lots of information. Here on the board, a lot of us are experienced and have been around a few years. While speakers might not be as interesting for some of the folks here on the board, we have a large membership that would probably enjoy it, especially our students, whom I would like to encourage to stay on as members after their student years. And I think this would be one way of recruiting students and others who are scattered around the state and getting them interested more in our native plants and all the facets of it. So I'm proposing that we start doing a monthly speaker meeting. It would also be a way for us to catch up with short things. In other words, we could share information among the group and then pass it along to our put it on the website, and we could do it on the Facebook and all the other avenues and get it out even faster that way. But we could also share information within the group at our monthly meeting. And it wouldn't have to be every month, but I'd like to target every month. There's no added expense for us. We don't have to pay speaker fees for traveling and per diem and meals and such. All we would need to do would be to pay maybe $200 honorarium. And even if we did one every month of the year, an honorarium of $200 per month is still only $2,400, which still keeps us at a very reasonable price, I think, for getting a lot of good speakers in, I would hope. I think within the board itself and within this group right here, there are a lot of people that could speak and have done so to other groups, but probably not to our group. Larry, Dennis, Bart in particular, I know all of you could give a nice talk to the group. And I'm sure a lot of others too. I'm just real quick, the first three people I see here. You could all do marvelous talks that would help people understand our native plants and learn more about them, the beauty of them, the utility of them, how important they are. And I think that's something worth sharing. And I'd love to give this a try if all of you are in agreement that it's worthwhile.
Well, my idea is if we start on a bi-monthly idea, because we're all involved in some other organizations. And also, are we then going to be able to show pictures to the rest of it?
Certainly.
Yeah.
For those that participated in Joey Shaw's presentation in November.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Example of what's
Yeah,
possible.
it was.
And if you want another example, just attend one of the Wild Ones virtual meetings. They have a lot of good presentations online.
Can I make a suggestion? As a realtor, what we have we started out doing what you're talking about, kind of, but then we turned them into podcast or something that, 15-minute lectures that were videoed and you could watch at your own leisure. Even if we did the monthly meetings, we need to have something like this where people could go back and continue to watch it. That way, when people if somebody wanted to do a lecture, like if Alice wanted to do something, she would submit it to us, we would post it, and then people could watch it when they wanted to, or when they had time to. There's going to be some that are going to be so extraordinary, people are going to go back and continue to watch. You know, I wanted to learn about whatever it is. And I don't know how difficult.
Well, we can directly record, they can record it while they're doing the presentation on Zoom.
Yes.
Well, we could
And
do
we can
that.
make that
It's gonna make
presentation,
somebody more
the
technical.
presentation part public.
Yeah, it's more technical than I know how to do, but I just know what we've evolved to in the realtors organization, rather than having meetings at a certain time that everybody's got to be there because somebody's got this to do or whatever. The podcast is something that you can go back and watch, and you can still learn and watch it again, you know, or show it to somebody at a meeting someplace else, show it to your family. But I'm just thinking that might, now that doesn't address talking about our short term, we need to talk about this and we need to go somewhere next month, but it would at least kind of archive our knowledge.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Would a person like me even get it onto anything? I have enough trouble getting onto the Zoom.
Well,
this would just be Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it looks like, right, Karen, are you recording the meeting right now?
I set it for record, but with the trouble that I had a little while ago, I'm not sure.
Because it's staying recording at the top of the screen. So
You're recording.
It
Yeah.
should be recording. I set it to do that.
yeah, yeah. So yeah.
I thought it
But-
would be a good chance to try this. So
People might want to love to listen to us, but my guess is they'd rather listen to a speaker talking about a specific subject.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, and I think the idea is great, Karen, and I think it certainly would get more people involved and be a way to recruit people and keep people as members. Alice might have a point, though, of doing it, even to start, doing it every other month, since there are a lot of involvements and also people are attending a lot of things by Zoom.
Well,
is there not some way we could say Dennis has got so much knowledge, he's done so, and Bart and several people on this have got so much knowledge. They've done presentations over and over again. They could do a set time and presentation and maybe have that recorded and have it available on our website, or
exactly.
I don't know the technical end of it, but I know I would love to have Dennis's presentation. Just pick on you, Dennis, if you don't mind. I'd love to have it recorded and for posterity, if nothing else. I mean, just to have it.
Yes, Dennis, as I know you've given a lot of talks, but I've never heard you speak.
Or we could go back and listen to him 10 times if we wanted.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's for
put that
people
on the
like-
website too.
I would love to get Dennis to do one, and
But I don't know how you do that. I mean,
it's very doable.
Yeah, it's very doable. I mean, you end up with a YouTube, you put it on YouTube. That's not the problem. The problem would be the length. You know, it wouldn't, 30 minutes would be the max that you'd want. But it would be a forum just like this. Somebody would be in charge. It would have to be the person who set up the Zoom would capture recording, and then it downloads, and then you save it to YouTube. So it's not difficult to do. And I think it's a great idea.
Set the recording so that it just records during the presentation and not all
Not
the
extra stuff.
Oh,
Yeah. Edit it. Yeah. Well, you can select when to record. That's right.
When I suggested we could talk before the speaker, I didn't mean a meeting like this. I meant, 5 minutes of, oh, by the way, don't forget next week we have a hike to such and such and such and place. And there's a plant sale at, just general little announcements, not a meeting per se, just a speaker plus our chapter announcements.
I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a good idea if we then put it on YouTube. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I was thinking at Kim, I know you've got students and you probably know of people who are doing papers and such. And as students, they would probably, it would be their benefit if they had to speak in front of a group. And this might be an ideal avenue for some of your students. And I'm sure there are other instructors out there that we could tap into and have some of the experts from our group speak and alternate with possibly students who are looking at something in depth that would be interesting about plants. And there's so many different topics, I won't even suggest them, but
We found with the Memphis Horticulture Society that we can get speakers on Zoom that we can't get to come to Memphis for 1 hour to talk. So next month we're having Dr. Hassel from University of the South, which we're thrilled with. And the one we had in January, it's the beginning of January. I'd love to recommend her for this. It's a young woman that saved a wetland in her hometown that's within the city limits and kept it from being logged. So she'd be great. I think it's a wonderful outreach.
I think it's a good way of including a wide range of skills and ages of people.
Yeah.
And the topics are pretty much limitless as long as it's involving native plants. You know, I can't say that there would be anything that would be limited other than that.
It could be native plant photography.
Yes, it could. And that would be an excellent one. And there are people within our group who could teach it.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I was thinking of people like Kim and we'll have a conversation at some point. Maybe you can suggest other people that I can contact. And you probably have a lot of things you could talk about, especially when it comes to the Cedar Glades.
I know I
did
talk to the zoo teens. Actually, I work with the zoo, and one of the education outreach people, he brings his family down to Flat Rock to hike a couple of times. And he's like, will you do workshops with my teens? And these kids were amazing. It's like, you guys want to know about Cedar Glades? And they're like, yeah, we do. So I've Zoomed and they brought in all the zoo kids from all over the nation, the kids from San Francisco. It was crazy. And
wonderful.
They just wanted to know about stuff. It's pretty amazing.
It is. And the cool thing about the Zoom and the video portion of it is that it opens us up to such a broad audience that wouldn't otherwise have this opportunity. So, all right, on that point, so is there a motion maybe that we pursue this?
I make a motion that we proceed with I think we ought to try for monthly. If you can't make every meeting, that's all right. You can go on somewhere archived and see it, but go with the plan you submitted.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we lost Susan, didn't we?
Yeah, she actually just texted in. I mean, she just sent us an email, and pardon me, I'm gonna have to break up a cat fight here. She suggested Cooper Breeden, who was I think going to be doing the because he apparently asked about the meeting, so he might be somebody to consider, in the first group. And her suggestion was quarterly.
I've heard him speak. He's good.
I think $200 might be expensive for a Zoom meeting. Maybe the executive committee needs to discuss when it adds up, it's not much. And anybody that has, or just research who has, what kind of the going fee is.
Okay,
I'm just saying, let's research before we decide on that.
all right, I can check around.
You're not having to travel to do it, then maybe you wouldn't have to be so expensive. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I think, Michelle.
I don't want to slight anybody, and that's not what I mean at all, but many people just want to give of what they know, and it's a passion.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking it could be offered. The ones that would accept it would probably be the students.
Yeah, maybe for students, but a lot of people, it's a professional courtesy that they're, if you're not having to travel and inconvenience yourself in some way, I mean, I think it's really sweet to offer an honorarium. I mean, I do think it's a really, but I find a lot of people just turn the money back to, what's your organization? Oh, we'll keep the money and that'll be my donation. But I think it would be a nice gesture.
Okay. All right.
I think especially since the expectation is that it would be recorded, there will require there's some finesse to presenting in this modality. It's perhaps not as natural to people. So it is a skill and an acquired one that we'd want to encourage people to be as.
And I think we would need we would need an expert to help people through if they've not done it before. So we need an expert on Zoom lectures and podcasts.
We'll have to do some searching for that
Yeah,
because obviously I'm not the one.
Yeah, but I think we should definitely have somebody, especially because there's going to be a wide range of expertise among people. So we need somebody to figure out how to learn this and be a support person for them, I think.
I'm happy to sign up for that. I used to work for an education technology company that helped Vanderbilt and a bunch of other universities bring their programs online using Zoom. So I've
excellent.
had many
Wonderful.
We have a
Fantastic. Invaluable, Hillary. Well, we will have a chat, Hillary.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Glad to put it to use for a topic I care more about than, motherboards of computers, etc.
Yes. Do I have a volunteer for the first one for maybe February? Dennis? Bart?
Well, let me tell you my situation with this. Okay. My laptop is ancient. I'm not even sure that I can even Zoom off the laptop. So I'm doing all this by my phone. So for me to do an actual presentation might require me to do a little bit more finagling to get a picture of the computer taking, so I'll have to work on that. I'm not sure how that's going to go. And also Thursday nights really suck for me.
Do they?
Yeah, this is my tennis night and I'm already committed. So I can do it once every so often, but I can't do every month taking off.
Okay.
My question is, if you're going to do a Zoom, why can't you pre-record it?
If I could probably figure it out. But like I said, I'm going to have to figure a way out that I can even present a presentation because like I said, I'm using my phone right now. That's what I usually use for meetings. But I'm not usually presenting anything in a meeting like this.
Right.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't know exactly the mechanics of how to do it. One problem with me, I mean, I have a stack. I mean, I have some photos that are electronic. I don't have a big library. All of my stuff is in slides, and I haven't got most of it converted. I just have some electronic. And I'm kind of like Bart. Most of my electronic images are on a old laptop that I don't even use regular every day. I can pull stuff off and put it on a thumb drive and then possibly do something with it, but I don't yet understand the mechanics of how I would do it just yet. I mean, I pull presentations together, put them on a thumb drive, and then somebody has a projector and I go and hand them the thumb drive, and that's kind of how I do things. So there's a lot of the mechanics of it that I would be stumbling with for a while to figure out how to go about it.
Okay.
And my library isn't real big. I've got a lot of general wildflowers. Some come from the book and from various sources, but I don't have a big library because most of my big library are still on 35 millimeter slides.
Have you ever thought about getting a scanner, Dennis?
Well, not really. But I guess I know that's what most people did at one point. I probably would just need to send them off somewhere to get them.
Yeah, you could
I've
send
got
them.
to organize that first too. And,
Dennis, there's a place right there in Tullahoma that can probably do it. It's on Main Street.
Probably Lies. Is that what you're talking about? Lies is right there.
Yes, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think he does good work.
I've had him do work for me before.
Okay.
Um,
He's probably.
They seemed reasonably priced.
Okay. Yeah, I know where he is.
It would save you a lot of headache, is what I'm suggesting.
Yeah, well.
To go to him and just say, do it.
Just the bookkeeping and all of us would be a lot of headaches for me. I'm not sure at this point what I'm capable of. I've just got some package stuff that I could do, but I don't. A lot of my stuff is, like I say, just tied up in slides. I could do one or two presentations, for you of some sort, but I'm just not sure. I would have to. I don't even know how I would do the mechanics of it right now.
Dennis, my understanding of it is that down at the bottom of what we're looking at, there's a little green button that says share screen, and Karen or whoever's the host would share the screen with you. And then the secret is how you pull up your PowerPoint, and we're seeing your PowerPoint as you talk to it. So that's the little hump you have to get over, is sharing the screen. So we're seeing your PowerPoint on your screen. And once you get over that, you're in full control.
Yeah, okay. Well, I might be able to, like say, all of my stuff is really on my little laptop, which I don't use anymore for this kind of thing, but I could pull it off. I can put anything on a thumb drive and I can plug it into this computer that I'm on right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And then if I guess just have a button somewhere where I can push one to index, I guess I'll be all right.
Yeah.
Well, you could also, if you have the presentation file on the thumb drive, you could share it with, I've volunteered myself to be a tech support on this. So it could always be that, I'm sharing it from my screen, so you don't have to fuss with that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
You're just.
Yeah, you just talk.
Yeah, I'll roll as the old projector and I'll move whenever.
Just move.
So we can
Just say what you say next. How you can do it. Okay.
Or, we could practice in advance so I'll know when the cue is, make it real Hollywood.
We can make you look like a professional.
Well, why don't we ask one thing? Is there anybody here that has a canned talk all ready to go?
Well,
No.
sort of.
Larry, oh,
Yes.
Yeah, I have a PowerPoint, I have a few PowerPoint presentations. One was that I always thought we would do sometime when we were in the Cumberland Plateau, which is plants of the Cumberland Trail.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Larry,
Lovely.
you had one you did in Chattanooga when they had the Georgia
Right.
annual meeting down there.
Exactly. I still have that one. That one's is rare plants. So the audience maybe is a little bit more specialized for that. What do you think? You saw that.
Yeah,
Would that be something?
I think that would be good. Yeah.
That's another PowerPoint that I have sitting there. Yeah.
Right.
That would give us a little more time to work the kinks out for people that haven't done it before.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's great.
yeah, that would be good.
Super. We'll be talking, Larry. You and I and Hillary. We'll see what we can work out.
Yeah, I'm in the process of changing computers around. That may make things a little bit confusing, but not a terrible problem.
Larry's would be like maybe 45 minutes to an hour. I mean, I have one or two that would be about that length, and then but you're all talking about breaking them up into smaller pieces. So I guess I don't know how that would work.
I'm not Kim. Hillary, can you figure out how to make a part 1 and a part 2?
Well, yeah, we could either physically do it that way, so we only see one part of the presentation, or given a video and an audio file, when you record a meeting, and you'll see it, Karen, you'll have the video file, which is inclusive of the audio, and then you'll also have a separate broken out audio file. So yeah, we could cut those. Like if we did the director's cut version, that was the full thing, but then we wanted to promote on social or whatever in our archive 2 sections. Yeah, we could do that just from
super
video editing. Yep.
Okay. The next question would be dates for doing this. I was kind of working on the idea that Thursdays seem to be, except for Bart, open nights for most people. Is that true? Or is my assumption false?
Not for me.
Not good for you, Michelle. Okay.
Yeah, I have a board meeting with TCWP once a month on a Thursday.
If this is the second Thursday of the month, is that?
Okay. That's it's the third TCWP, I believe.
So you would be all right with the second Thursday?
Okay.
I'm not
about ready to sign the contract yet, but we can talk. Yeah.
I was just trying to find a consistent time that we could do this that would be good for most people.
Right. If we had yeah, we may not be able to find somebody for every month, but yeah.
Okay.
I think Alan and I could do it. The thing for us would be, I mean, I think we really need to keep these to an hour.
Yes.
So that they're not too much for people.
I agree.
That's hard sometimes, but that's good.
Well, this is kind of from what you're talking about though, Karen. We would have maybe 5 minutes of updates, and then we'd have 50 minutes or 25 minutes of a presentation.
Yes. Yes. And maybe room at the end for a couple questions. That would be the advantage of seeing it live for the recorded version.
Questions.
And it wouldn't take the place of our quarterly meetings though, would it?
No. Okay. No. This is separate from, in addition to. And just a way of getting out more information in a format that many people are very accustomed to now. So, you know, a lot of folks get bored and they start flipping through the videos online. And if we've got something out there, we might be hooking a few more members.
And these podcasts, good gracious, there are people that put them out. how to trim a rose bush, and you could find 50 different on YouTube. It's amazing what's out there that people subscribe to these things and they make money off of it.
Well, who knows? Maybe we've got another revenue stream down the road.
Those things are already there. For example, as you say, to trim a rose bush, and if we want to, but at a meeting like this, it is also kind of interesting. What is new? What is your new plant that you have just discovered or heard about?
Right.
Same token, have you mentioned the lichen book?
Not tonight, but we've mentioned it at every other meeting.
I wonder if we could get them to speak, the authors of that one.
Mm-hmm.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I'm really fascinated by that lichen book and my own and identified one of them. So just little things like that people can submit without having to sit down and work hard ahead of time to get the information. Boy, Michelle, is that a lady slipper orchid from a little while ago and behind you? Is that a lady slipper orchid?
Oh, yeah, it is. There's a lady at the Lawn and Garden Show that she makes them out of clay. So it's not real.
Oh, it's not real.
No, it's made out of clay. It's done by an artist.
Okay.
Can't use them. You can't have lady slippers all year round.
They can bloom any time of the year, and this would be the time anyway.
Oh, well, okay. No, it's not real. It's clay. It's a sculpture.
All right. All right then. I think what we're left with is trying to figure out when our next meeting will be. Would you want to meet possibly in March, April? I suggested April 8th.
Decide to have an annual meeting, we would do it then, right?
Yeah, if we don't have our regular annual meeting at our conference, then we will have to have one online again. But we could do it again with a speaker, like we did with Cooper last fall. Excuse me, with Joey Shaw last fall.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And there are a number of folks that I have on the list of suggested possible speakers that I know have done videos, done speaking so on this format, so I can contact them for some of the earlier speakers as well. And actually, I think Cooper might be one of them. Okay. Would April 8th work for everyone, or would you rather do it on a weekend?
No.
No, you don't.
April 8th is the day before our annual meeting.
Right, assuming we have it.
Yeah, so we'll probably be traveling to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would we want to do?
If I understood you right, this is it. We would do this if we didn't have an annual meeting, right?
Well, it might be easier to just plan a particular date and try and stick with it. Like maybe the Thursday after our annual meeting. Would that work? Or do you want to have a meeting before?
Whatever y'all decide.
Well, if we're not going to have the meeting actually at the annual meeting, it would be better to have it before, I think, because we need to maybe work out some last minute kinks.
Okay.
So that means either that means either 4/8 or the weekend before, or the week before,
Yeah,
or
how
3
about,
or 4/1.
We can do it April 8th. That's April
April
8th.
8th, you okay with that? Okay.
Yeah.
April 1st would work? Unless I find something that's conflicting with it all.
So are we, what, is that one, April 1st or April 8th?
First.
First, okay, all right.
We'll tentatively do the 1st.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else? Any other new business? Nope. Well, in that case, we've done this in record time. We usually spend 4 hours when we're at Wilderness Station. We've only taken
We're getting better. Okay. Nice to see everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Good night.
All right.
I'll be
Maybe
talking
in
with
Good
some
night.
of you.
a month for the
Good night.
talk.
All right. Bye-bye.
Night. Ow.
Yes, Louise left us too.
Oh, I'm still here.
Oh, you're still there.
Ow. Night, everyone.
Good night.
I think we're going.
All right. Good night.
April the 1st or April the 8th?
First.
First.
At 7 or 6?
7 Eastern, 6 Central.
All right.
Louise, where do you live? Are you in Middle Tennessee?
I am, but if you want to call me East, that's fine.
Okay.
But you got to go about 45 miles west of here to get into East Tennessee on Interstate 40. As the crow flies, it's probably closer.
Where's the crow?
Okay.
What, Alice?
Where is the crow?
I don't know. Well, they're
Crow.
down here all the time, so they're close.
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
Okay, good night. I'm gone.
Good night, Alice.
Good night. I gotta unpack groceries.
Oh
Yes.
my.
Yes. And I chewed on the chicken that I bought at Publix, so in between.
All righty. Good night.
Good night. I guess I gotta unzoom myself here. How do I get out? Leave meeting. What now?